October 14th, 2025. Mark that date on your calendar because it's the day Microsoft officially ends support for Windows 10. That means no more security updates, no more patches, no more protection against new threats. If you're still running Windows 10 after that date, you're essentially driving without insurance. I'm Ross Whitmore, President and Founder of Northern Technology Services here in beautiful Petoskey, Michigan. And today we're covering everything you need to know about migrating to Windows 11 and why waiting until September is a recipe for disaster. So over the past 10 years serving Northern Michigan businesses, we've helped hundreds of companies through major technology transitions. The businesses that plan ahead are the ones that thrive. The ones that wait until the last minute, they're facing downtime, security risks, and emergency costs that could have been avoided. So let's talk about the October deadline. And let's be crystal clear about what really happens on October 14th, 2025. Microsoft isn't flipping a switch and your Windows 10 computer is just going to stop working. But here's what's going to happen. No more security patches, and when new vulnerabilities are discovered, they will be, Microsoft isn't going to fix them. You're going to be running an increasingly vulnerable system every single day. There's going to be no more technical support. If you call Microsoft or a vendor, they're going to tell you to upgrade to Windows 11. There's going to be compliance issues. Many industry regulations require up-to-date supported operating systems. Running unsupported Windows 10 is going to put you out of compliance. Insurance complications. Some cyber insurance policies require current supported software. An unsupported operating system could completely void your coverage. And here's the kicker. If you wait until October to start planning, you'll be competing with every other business for limited IT resources during the busiest migration period in the year. So before we talk about migration, we need to determine if your current hardware can even run Windows 11. Microsoft raised the bar significantly with Windows 11 requirements. And here's what you need. You need a compatible 64-bit processor from Intel. They say 8th gen or newer, or an AMD series, but realistically, you're going to want a 10th gen or newer processor. And this comes from experience having tested some of these older 8, 9 gen machines and finding that they do not perform properly with Windows 11. They are increasingly way slower than they were before with Windows 10, and in most of these cases, the fans sound like a dying animal screaming at you. Now, they do say again on paper the minimum requirement of 4 gigs of RAM. Realistically, you'll want to be 8 gigs of RAM minimum, although we standardize in 16 gigs of RAM minimum because after 10 years of doing this, we find that 16 gigs helps ensure the best compatibility, and especially if you've got a user or even yourself that maybe likes to have a lot of those tabs open in their web browser. 64 gigs of storage space, and by that it means you need to have that available just for use by the operating system. So if you have a 250 gig hard drive, realize that 64 gigs of that 250 gigs is already going to be used up by your operating system. So we'd recommend a 512 gig hard drive or bigger. And of course, that does kind of depend on your use case. If you're just using it as like a simple POS machine or just to get to the web browser, then you'd be fine with one of those lower numbers of storage space. And one of the other requirements is a TPM 2.0 chip. This is a trusted protection module. And to check your system, you can press the Windows key plus the R button at the same time, type in this command msinfo32 and hit enter. And this will provide you all of that information and kind of see where it's at. And there's also a PC health tool from Microsoft you can download. And at NTS, we perform comprehensive hardware assessments for our clients. And we're finding that about 60% of business computers from 2019 or newer can run Windows 11. But those older systems are definitely going to need a replacement. So, data backup and preparation. Never, and I mean never, attempt a major operating system upgrade without a complete backup. And this isn't just about your documents. We're talking about a full system image that can restore everything if something's gone wrong. And this is something I actually personally witnessed many years ago during the transition from Windows 7 to Windows 10. There was a gentleman I knew. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do this," and he got the notice, and he upgraded it from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And the next day he said, "Ross, I lost all my files." And sure enough, when we looked at his machine, when it did that upgrade from 7 to 10, it somehow, one way or another, whether it was the click of a button gone wrong or just that person's sheer bad luck, it completely reinstalled the operating system and set him up as if it was a fresh computer. So here's our pre-migration checklist. First, create a full system backup using Windows Backup and Restore, or use a professional tool like the ones we use. Second, document all your installed programs and their license keys, or how you license them, log into them. Third, export your browser bookmarks, email settings, and any custom configurations. Fourth, ensure that all your business critical software is Windows 11 compatible. We also recommend testing your backup by restoring it to a different machine or a virtual environment, because a backup you can't restore is just expensive storage. And for our managed clients, we handle all of this automatically. Our backup systems create multiple restore points, and we test them monthly to ensure they work when needed. So let's talk about choosing your migration path. You have about 3 main paths for a Windows 11 migration, and the right choice depends on your hardware and your business needs. Path 1, that's going to be an in-place upgrade. If your hardware is compatible and relatively new, you can upgrade your existing Windows 10 installation to Windows 11. This preserves all your programs and settings, but carries the highest risk of compatibility issues. Path number 2 would be a clean installation. This involves wiping your hard drive and installing Windows 11 fresh. It's more work up front, but results in a cleaner, more stable system. And this is definitely a recommended approach for most business systems. Path 3 is going to be hardware replacement. If your computers are older than 4 to 5 years or don't meet Windows 11 requirements, it's often more cost effective to just replace them entirely. You get modern hardware, better performance, and warranty protection. And at NTS, we evaluate each client's situation individually. We are going to consider your hardware age, your requirements, your budget constraints, and your timeline so that we can recommend the best path forward. So, now, one of the biggest migration challenges is ensuring all of your business critical software works with Windows 11. Start by creating an inventory of every program your business depends on. Check each software vendor's website for Windows 11 compatibility statements. Pay special attention to older or specialized business software, accounting programs, industry-specific tools, and custom applications. Often need updates or replacements. And don't forget about the peripherals. That 5-year-old printer or scanner might need new drivers, or it could be incompatible entirely. We maintain a database of compatible hardware and software to help our clients avoid surprises. For licensing, Windows 11 Pro is the minimum for business use, and it includes features like BitLocker encryption, domain joining, and group policy management that home editions lack. And if you're currently using Windows 10 Pro, you should be able to upgrade to Windows 11 Pro at no additional cost, using Path 1 that we talked about. So now, let's talk a realistic timeline for a Windows 11 migration. So assuming you start in August, then week 1 and 2 should be a hardware assessment, compatibility testing, identify which systems can be upgraded and which need replacement. Software compatibility verification, procurement, and any other updates or replacements would be week 3 or 4. And week 5 and 6, complete those backups and begin the pilot migrations on non-critical systems. 7 and 8, full migration execution, starting with the most critical systems and working down the list. And then week 9 and 10, final testing, user training, documentation updates, and this gives you a comfortable buffer before the October deadline. Remember, rushing the migration leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to downtime. For businesses with more than 10 computers, we strongly recommend a phased approach. Migrate a few systems first, work out any issues, then proceed with the rest. And in our 10 years of experience, we see the same mistakes repeatedly. And here are the biggest ones to avoid. Don't assume all your hardware is compatible. That 2018 computer might look fine, but lack that TPM 2.0 chip and require the Windows that's required for Windows 11. Don't skip the backup step. We've seen businesses lose data, because they're trusted the migration process too much. Don't ignore your software licensing. Some programs require new licenses for Windows 11, and discovering this mid-migration is not only expensive, but it's disruptive. And you don't want to migrate everything at once. A phased approach allows you to identify and fix issues before they affect your entire organization. And, of course, don't forget about user training. Windows 11 has interface changes that can confuse users and reduce productivity if not addressed. So, that's a lot. I get it. But at Northern Technology Services, we've developed a comprehensive Windows 11 migration process that minimizes downtime and maximizes success. Our approach includes pre-migration assessment using our proprietary tools to evaluate hardware, software, business requirements, and a customized migration planning tailored to your specific business needs and timeline. A professional data migration ensuring nothing is lost in the transition. Post-migration support and optimization to ensure peak performance. And we're currently prioritizing all our clients based on computer lifecycle performance ahead of that October deadline. Our goal is to have every client migrated before the deadline with time for testing and optimization. Our average migration project completes in about 15 to 60 days, depending on the complexity. And we maintain a 100% success rate for IT implementations. So, about the benefits. Windows 11 isn't just about meeting the deadlines. It offers real business benefits. There's increased security and improved BitLocker encryption, better performance, especially on modern hardware, with improved memory management and much faster startup times than we've seen in the past. If you're using Microsoft 365, there's improved integration, making the collaboration tools way more seamless and productive. There's enhanced remote work capabilities with better VPN support and virtual desktop features, a modern interface improvements that can boost your users' productivity once that learning curve is overcome. And for businesses we migrated, we typically see a 10 to 15% performance improvements and significantly fewer security incidents. So here's what you need to do right now. First, assess your current hardware using the tools I mentioned earlier. Don't guess. Get definite answers about Windows 11 compatibility. Second, inventory your business critical software and verify Windows 11 compatibility with each vendor. Third, create a complete backup of all your systems. And this should happen regardless of your migration timeline. Fourth, develop a migration plan with realistic timelines and contingencies. Fifth, if you have more than 5 computers or lack internal IT expertise, contact a professional. The cost of an expert help is far less than the cost of a failed migration. Now remember, October 14th, 2025 isn't just a suggestion. It's a hard deadline. And after that date, every day you run Windows 10 is a day you're exposed to unpatched security vulnerabilities. The businesses that start planning now will have smooth, stress-free migrations. The ones that wait until September are going to face rush timelines, limited availability, and emergency pricing. And at Northern Technology Services, we're already booking Windows 11 migration projects for August and September. Don't wait until it's too late. Contact us today at 844-959-5040 or visit ntsmanage.com for a free Windows 11 readiness assessment. We'll evaluate your current systems, identify the best migration path, and create a timeline that works for your business. We're located right here at 231 State Street in Petoskey, Michigan, and we serve businesses throughout northern Michigan, from Traverse City to Gaylord, Boyne City to Harbor Springs. So stay tuned for more NTS tech tips. This is Ross here with Northern Technology Services, and thanks for watching. Have a great day.